I think self-managed model helps frontline workers to get more skill in first hand. So that's actually helping you to get more confident about your job, what you are doing, or how you are actually applying your skills and your knowledge about the job to your service. And this can go to the family you are working with, the person you are supported. Basically, I think main point is that about the model, I'm so keen and I really like about it is just how much actually investing people.
To work in a self-managed team is brilliant. We support one another. We do everything for our clients. Everything is within the team. Care plans, we write the care plans, do the initial meets. As a carer, you see what needs that client may need or may want, and you're actually able to deliver a completely personal-centred approach.
I didn't know the detail of district nursing, but the teams did. So being able to give them the autonomy and the decision making to know what to do with their patch and to work in their way, it was really great to see that team then blossom. And they were, all I had to do as a coach was to just help facilitate those conversations, and it was brilliant. And then stepping back out into management, then to put my other hat on, to then come back from that, it's it is challenging, and I think it's challenging as a manager to be able to give that space to the team, to break down that management structure, to be able to give that autonomy to the team.
Yeah.
But when you do that, the benefits are immense.
Self-managing approach is benefiting the clients. Let me just maybe give you the result of quality assurance reviews we did with clients recently, and all of them scored the professionality, the service, the flexibility of the service between 8 and 10, which was remarkable. None of them have ever had a no-show. That means where a carer actually hasn't turned up for a care call. In the Irish context, that is so widespread across all home care companies. It's almost expected from clients that they're not going to have a carer turn up at some days. And the local approach with carers having more autonomy has really combated that, because the carers are in control of their own schedules and it's done locally. So in terms of the offering to the client, that has been a big benefit. Also, the carer's autonomy to be able to advocate on behalf of clients. So, for example, if a client needs, a more supported, structured chair for them, or they need grab rails put into their house, the carer in the Grey Care Co-op model will ring the public health nurse, will discuss it with their client first, and can actually ring the public health nurse or assist the client to ring the public health nurse to get those that extra equipment put into the house. In the traditional model, the carer isn't allowed to do that. They would have to ring back to a supervisor, and it could take 1, 2, 3 months before that's actually actioned upon. It kind of can get lost in the back office. But the relationship between the carer and the client, and having that permission to advocate, discuss changes, and ask the client what they need and take action for it, has been reported back as one of the big benefits of the Grey Care.
And then you have the solution-driven method of interaction. It's a meeting which you agree. For us, we were having like on a weekly basis. So we will have agenda points that we will discuss. And rota rules, like the example I gave, we will discuss. People come with their proposals, counter proposals, and then we come to an agreement. Everyone has to agree that this is the rule. And if you don't, you can ask for people whether they can live with it. So you make that as a rule. That rule is written down. So you agree that maybe every 3 months you will, or 6 months, it depends on what agreements you have. So that we had a rule book that it was on our shared folder. So new members come to the team, that's part of the induction process. We will explain what that means so that they're aware. So transparency. But the meeting, I think the solution-focused meeting, that's where everything is discussed and we will vote. And I think it's a really beautiful way to bring, so you don't get stuck in one problem. You make a solution, you make a decision and you move from it. If you can't, you can postpone it so you don't have to stay in that one problem or decision over and over again. So
we had a lady who come out of hospital. She had dementia, very severe dementia. She was living with 3 cats. Even her food was like 20 years out of date, some of it. In a fridge or in a normal care system, you would have gone back to hospital. But we managed to sail through that, clean her house, leave her at home. But we realised she was sleeping all for the 20 years. Her front door had been open. You could literally just go in and push her front door and go in the middle of the night. We got her a new lock, which she can get out with, and we can open from the outside, so she was secure. But obviously in the normal care system again, that would have took a very long time, because you would have had to get admit her back, then go and clean her house, then get a locksmiths. But we'd done that all by ourselves. So overall it took about 2 weeks, whereas in the normal system she would have had to be readmitted and then reassessed. The house would have had to been assessed, and then it could have took a good 2 months. So to do it in a shorter time frame puts less stress on the client and it saves a lot of money.
One of the things that I found, and my background is a social worker, and I think alike to nursing, it's a pretty intense profession and there's a lot of burnout. Work-life balance can be really tricky. I didn't realise actually maybe there were different ways to be working. I think when I then had the opportunity to work in a self-managed team, all of a sudden, did I work less hours? No, I definitely didn't. But did it feel like there was a better balance? Did it feel fulfilling? Did it feel like actually it was a different way of working and a way that made me really happy? Yes, and on a personal level, I think there's something really empowering about your colleagues knowing people really well. You can go on holiday and feel comfortable that you're not going to come back to something that is really awful that's happened, and you feel like it's because you're not there. And also from my personal point of view, it allowed me to care for family members at the end of their life. It allowed me to do things that, and I've been in some wonderful teams that would have supported me, but it's just a different way of being supported by your colleagues with that equal voice, with that whole knowledge of a team, of knowing people and knowing your community. You can step away when you need to get that work-life balance. Or that was my experience anyway.
No, I think definitely I agree with that. With this model, I think it gives us more option to discover about our work and personal life balance, because it made me do more self-reflection about knowing myself, what I'm capable of, what I can do, or how I can get myself better. And this always affecting your relationship with your partner, affecting your family relationship. So it's just not just we are using this model in this work and when we go back home we are switching off. No, you are not switching off actually. It's such a good thing, because you are feeling like you're saying, Sophie, like getting more motivated, valued. And it's always, you can see the signs how your, personal life in that matter is changing too. But I think the key word for me is the self-reflection. Made me do more self-reflection and think about my capability work-wise or in the personal life, So that's the biggest difference for me. Mm-hmm. Able to the more self-reflect and think about myself, my life, and my professional.
I think for me, it was about building a future for future nurses, because we've got such a deficit in nurses and it's a struggle recruiting and retaining staff. We have got the power within our teams to actually create a blueprint for future nurses so that we can recruit and retain, but also building within our own organisation future nurses, future healthcare professionals, and making our health service more healthy and providing that better care and having that better work-life balance. And it enables you to be creative. And I think as the coach, it has enabled creativity for me. I've been able to work with lots of different services, organisations, universities to actually build our pathway and make sure that we have got the staff in place to enable us to do this model.
For me, it's having the time to care for my patient. And also I had example where patients were, they felt there's nothing they could do for them, hopeless. And you see, it's like a beautiful flower, getting them from that position and getting them into, with help and support. It takes time, but I've been in a situation where patients, with the team support, we got patients that were hopeless. GP thought there was nothing they could do for these patients and get them out of that depression. Just simple things. You didn't have to put any more resources, time maybe, and but having the named nurse, have one or two people, have that continuity with that person instead of having many different people. But there's this beautiful examples I have, which you see someone from that dark place coming out of it, out like a bird flying away. It's beautiful for me. And it's helped me by the empowerment I've received to be able to empower other people, because I've got this knowledge, I've got these skills, it's there. So I want to share it. Not only to teams, to patients, because it's not only, it's the same for patients. If you get patient happy, you get the patient structured. It's the same for the team. You can transfer that vice versa.
Yeah.
And happy patient, happy team.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. Thank you.
Just very, very quickly from me, it's the same. It's completely within me now, and I feel like every conversation I have now has got some form of Buurtzorg principle in the background. It's there. But even to the point now when I'm at home with my family, my son comes home from school and he's like, I've had an argument with my friend. So what's your options here? It's infiltrating everything. It's funny.